Hi guys, this video is for all the students writing your exams in May 2025. Sir, are there any amendments in law paper? Yes, there are some amendments. So even for September 25, Jan 26 onwards, this is applicable for you. There are only two amendments and mostly you should be aware of this because the first amendment in cost audit we discussed in our class. Now I'm talking first time in YouTube, and foreign company amendment is there in your RTP May 2025 itself. In RTP May 2025 it's given. Amendments this time are very less, just two amendments. Earlier when we used to study there used to be 10 to 15. Don't worry, whichever class you went to, whichever book you followed, I'm going to explain these two amendments in detail as if I'm teaching for the first time, and we will cover this and be ready with this in exam just in case it comes. Let me go to the RTP law amendment, the only amendment, foreign company. This one, don't worry guys, if you have attended my class, it's already covered in our class, but let me mark and show you which paragraph is the amendment. There is a provision in foreign company in section 380 that whenever a company establishes itself in India, a foreign company, within the first 30 days, they have to file a form FC1 to the ROC. FC1 will give details of who is the authorized representative along with lot of attachments. So if Uber is coming to India, within 30 days of establishing place of business, they have to file FC1. And if any information is changing, address change, etc., you have to file amendments in 30 days in FC2. So FC1, first time coming to India 30 days, amendments means second time or subsequent FC2 within 30 days. Sir, what are those amendments, sir? These are what are those attachments? So in this FC1, what are the attachments? So in this attachment, one new point is there. What is already there? They're asking you details of MOA, OA, or your charter, or they're asking you the full address, date of birth of directors, their spouse name also they want to know, then membership, residential address, passport number, which country you are coming from, if you have multiple passport, all those details, then full address of the office in company where it's having deemed business, deemed place of business, then they're also asking authorized person details, who's the authorized person details, and if you have entered India in the previous time and left, those details. All these are already there. What is the new inclusion in RTP which is already there in our book? I am just marking. This paragraph only is the inclusion in RTP as an amendment. That is nothing but FC1 shall be supported by an attested copy of approval from RBI under FEMA, and it should be given to jurisdiction in New Delhi ROC. So RBI approval, RBI should approve that. Look at that guys, I wrote that separately over here. I wrote that here, look at this. This is only there in RTP, which is already there in the book. Application shall be supported with an attested copy approval from RBI and other regulations under FEMA. And they're also saying, if you don't need this, approval from authorized representatives also needed to establish place of business in India, or declaration stating that no approval is needed. This also is there in RTP. Declaration from authorized representative of foreign company that no need such approval, that declaration should also be given, either RBI approval or a declaration saying I don't need this. I hope this is clear guys. So this is the amendment, I wrote it over here. Same thing is there in our book also. Those who are studying from my book, this paragraph it's already covered. This is the first amendment guys. Okay, foreign company. Second is cost audit. This, if you are reading my book, there are some changes for you to do guys. Nothing to worry, nothing to panic. In cost audit, what they are saying, which came earlier itself, let me go to cost audit provisions in our book. In our book, take a red pen. You like striking off syllabus, no? So whatever I've striked off here, for whom cost audit is applicable, regulated, non-regulated sector, fully strike. Come to next page. Cost audit not applicable in the following cases. Audit committee provisions in cost auditor. Then resignation and removal of cost auditor. Remove all of this guys. Then what is there? Whatever I've highlighted in green, give focus, and you have to newly add this if you are using our book. But if you're using some other book means, let me summarize the provision. Now for cost audit, they are not talking about regulated and non-regulated sector. They are just saying, if you are a company manufacturing and producing and selling goods or even doing services where your turnover in previous financial year is exceeding 35 crores, equal to or more than 35 crores. Before we had limit like 100, 50, 25, 35 individual product aggregate, all that rubbish removed. One limit: if your turnover is 35 crores or more in the previous financial year as a company, you have to do cost audit, guys. That's it. So if I am doing cost audit, then what is the next provision I have? So now that cost audit is applicable for you, I should this is the amendment. So in our book, the addition you have to do is only this, or whichever book you are using, ensure this point is there. Apart from that, remaining points that you should remember for exam for cost audit is what is already there. That means after striking what is still left, who should conduct cost audit? CA who has passed the CMA exams. So that's it. Next, nobody else can do it, guys. So statutory auditor, CA cannot be cost auditor. Appointment of cost auditor, they are saying he should be appointed within 180 days from close of the financial year. From 31st March, within 180 days you will appoint. After appointing, what he will do? He will come and sleep in the office. No, he has to do the cost audit report. So that report will be given in CRA 3 within 180 days from the end of the financial year. So look at this. 180 days from start of financial year, appoint. So beginning of the year he will be appointed. 180 days from end of the financial year he will submit report. So from start of financial year 180 days I will appoint. End of financial year 180 days I will give the report. Then what I will do with the report? The company, once I get the report, will furnish it to central government within 30 days. So only 3 time limits. 180 days from start of financial year appoint. 180 from end of financial year give the report. After I get the report within 30 days I will give it to central government, guys. And that's it. Applicable if the limit is the turnover is 35 crores or more in the previous financial year. We are done with the 2 amendments applicable for your May 2025 exams. Nothing great, simple bacha amendments, guys. That's about it. We are done with this in just 7 minutes. Thank you. Have a great day.